And welcome back to The Division. I'm Matthew, this is Cameron.
Yep.
And we're going to go through our next mission. I believe we are still in, yeah, I remember now. We're still technically in a tutorial phase, and this is our next mission right here. Because we're in Brooklyn, and we haven't reached Manhattan yet.
Yeah.
We're going to get to that point in just a minute.
Yeah, and this is also, when I was actually thinking about it, this is also, I think, the first online game that we're playing for the 8-bit players.
It's kind of a yes and no here because we're not. I don't know how soon we'll do online stuff because there are quests that you could choose to tackle alone or with multiplayer. And I figure for the purpose of this playthrough, depending on if we want to continue this or not, I kind of feel like that at the very least to sort of have a name of ourselves to, at the least, to try to finish each game we start.
Mm-hmm.
We could try to get through the story mission as soon as possible, but see, this is it right here. See, I can do basically just a show. I can press square to find agents, and I can also change the matchmaking difficult from normal to hard. The only difference is you get a bigger reward, and you have a chance to get better items. But for the purpose of getting through this game kind of as quick as possible, we're just going to stick with playing by ourselves right now.
Okay.
And one thing that will allow us to automatically have to play with people is when we go into the dark zone in this game. And that's where it's nothing but PvP VE, basically. It's player versus environment. And a really unique thing. And my battery's getting low, so I thought this was going to last longer than this. Don't give me that look, Cameron.
I'm giving him the judgment stare because before we hit record, I said, "Are you sure that controller has enough of a charge?" And he goes, "Yeah, it should be fine."
Well, guess what? I was wrong, and I'm not afraid to admit that. Anyways,
Anywho,
I don't even know if it's going to show on the screen, honestly.
probably not.
But yeah, so the battery's pretty low because we just finished a pretty decent recording session of Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah.
But I mean, this won't be too long. If we just end up recording one episode, that's fine. But so that's our melee guys you'll see there, and they pretty much have bats the whole time. I don't know why.
Yeah, those are the guys that just make you feel good about shooting them.
Mm-hmm, basically. They
Like,
can be
you
annoying.
brought a bat to a gunfight.
I'm looking for... Oh, here we go. So there's like little icons to show you there's like med kits and stuff. So apparently my item stash is full. But yeah, so if I was doing... I did this when I first played on hard with someone. And it's actually when I met my friend online. I haven't touched this game in like 2 weeks because I've been in a complete Monster Hunter like obsession, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And I have not regretted it.
Yes.
But
Nor should you.
yeah. I've enjoyed playing. I've been enjoying playing, having the opportunity to play this game again. But it was kind of funny because I did this on hard, and I kind of did this to myself. You know, I was just like, oh, I want to try this on hard. For one thing, I was like, how bad could it be? Because I haven't tried it yet. Bad thing for me to say, and explosions. And so me and this one guy, we weren't even talking at first. We were just kind of like, you know, at first I thought this was with 4 people, but it was just me and him.
Mm-hmm.
So at first I kind of complained, and then I was like, "Oh shoot!" I just realized that these are CPUs right here, and not actual player. So I was like, "Hey man, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make it seem like I was being a jerk to you." And I didn't get any response back. And then we continued forward, and the thing that this game's nice about is that it gives you ammo crates and checkpoints to get to, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And when you reach those checkpoints, if you die, you get to that point. And what had happened was we died, actually, at the, see that entrance right there?
Yes.
We got in there, and there's the next big firefight scene, gunfight, and we died multiple times. At one point, I thought my mic was muted, but I screamed out, shit. And then, because, like, we had a couple of times where we were doing our best, and we were fine, but then there was one point where we just walked in, and we just died. And then, as soon as I said shit, my friend, the guy who was with me, cuts on his mic and goes, "It's okay, man, I suck too." And then we started talking. We were able to finally beat it. And then we were just like, "Hey, man, if you ever want to keep playing this, hit me up, basically."
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool. It's the only friend I've made in this game so far.
Here's my number.
Yeah.
Hit me up.
And here's where you get to restock on your ammo supplies, basically. So these are everywhere, and you want to, if you see them, get to them, basically.
You know, for a place in a military state of martial law, it's kind of nice they just leave ammo crates laying around.
It's marvelous, isn't it? Well, see, that's kind of the premise thing. Like, the Dark Zone is a place that you really want to go to because it's the big, high-risk, high-reward game at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And, basically, it's the last place where the military was before shit hit the fan, basically. And that's where all the best guns are. And I need to hide. Luckily, this game allows you to basically auto-heal.
Like every good modern third-person shooter.
I know, right?
Shooter.
Or RPG, yes. But basically, it that's where the military last was. That's where all the best loot is. So you have to go into the Dark Zones, extract the loot safely, and then you can sort of like decontaminate it so you can actually use them. But it's really, I really like the concept of this. I like the mechanics of the game. Kind of wish it was. I thought it was going to be more story driven than it is.
Yeah. From what I've gathered, and from what you've explained, I'm really surprised that they're not delving into the situation and more character-driven story, more situational-driven, because from what you've described, it's kind of got the Call of Duty syndrome of...
Another syndrome
okay, here's your objective, here's your target, shoot, move on.
Yes, and I feel like that's where a lot of people can sort of get that feeling in this game. Another thing I was thinking of was like, I wouldn't call it a syndrome, but I'm just going to say it, like the Dark Souls? Dark Souls, yes. Dark Souls syndrome, where there's not a lot of story up front. Most of the stories get when you read the items and actually, like, go deeper into the game, basically. Because Dark Souls has a really huge story that one of my friends keeps talking to me about it, and I've enjoyed listening to like the story of Dark Souls, but it's like, you would never know it unless you actually read the items and actually did a little bit of exploring.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
And I think that's where like many games will give you the option of saying, well, if you really want to get into this world, by all means, please do. That's why we have it here. But if you're just in it for the challenge, then we'll let you have that.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that's where this game sort of lies. It's like, if you really want to be into more of the world of this game, you're going to have to look around more for it. Because there's like these little bonus things to get you a little bit of experience and stuff where you can, like, listen into conversations. Hello, guys. Or you can, basically where you, like, listen into, like, previous old cell phone conversations, like, during and before, like, the plagues, hit the fan, where everything hit the fan. And, you can listen to some conversations, and I'm sure if you put the stories together, you can make some connections. I haven't been able to do that yet. I haven't gone that deep into the game yet. But, I'm sure it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just have to put in the effort.
Yeah, because like with a premise like this of a city, one of the great things about setting anything in New York City or any of its boroughs is you have essentially created the backdrop of a concrete jungle.
Mm-hmm.
Like Assassin's Creed could be set in New York.
That's true.
If they wanted to do a more modern day version of it, but they keep wanting to do the past thing.
Yeah.
So you have a jungle without the jungle. So you always have room to make a maze of possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Which some games take advantage of with the backdrop of New York, others don't, but hey, what are you going to do? So with something like this that says, hey, when you're not in a mission, free roam this place, it just seems like there's a lot of opportunity to play with this story of people driven to extremes, yet here's this group of almost secret police that have, and we don't even know how they join this division. We just know what their mission is.
It just is.
Yeah, it just is. And it's, well, how did they become members of the Division? How, do we recruit other people? What's it like being in this concrete labyrinth of a town where, almost anything could happen, and with over half its population gone?
Ooh, boy.
So I think there's just so much room to play around with story and characters, and it kind of missed the opportunity.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe there's more to it than we thought. We'll be able to figure it. We'll be able to see more to it as we play it. Which I am going to also say ahead of time. My apologies if it seems like I ramble on the same things over and over again. I'm still learning how to really talk and play video games at the same time.
And that is totally fine. If you, I get to go back and watch all the episodes that we do, which, by the way, some people in the 8-bit players should be doing. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yes. Tell your friends, tell your family.
Yeah. And I get to listen to how I tell stories, or where I sometimes get so enthralled with the game I suddenly forget, oh yeah, I need to talk.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be making comedy.
I'm that guy too. Or making some form of commentary, basically.
Yes. Which, granted, I'm the guy who's gone on YouTube and looked at games walkthroughs.
Mm-hmm.
But I look for the ones without commentary. Because if I'm watching it for the game, I'm watching it for the game. Mm-hmm. If I'm watching it to be entertained, then I'll look for the commentary.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I just want to see what a game looks like. I want to see where it goes.
Okay, this should be the final area, basically. Oh, that's a grenade. Or a flashbang. So, as hint what flashbang, I'm sure you know, it dazes you and all that fun stuff.
Of course.
So, which I can throw those too, but I just don't feel like doing it right now because it's much, much easier right now to sort of do this. And that's jerkwad.
I could, but I don't wanna.
Yeah. I don't wanna. There we go.
Did you ever have that kid in school that did the well, I could do that.
Oh yeah.
What was his name?
Alert. Additional hostiles inbound.
One of ours, his name was Justin. And I'm not going to use last names because
for respect.
For respect. Granted, this was elementary school, and I doubt he even remembers me. Bit of a prick.
Okay, I remember his name. His name was Thomas.
Thomas?
Yes.
Yeah. You ever think back on, some of those people and just wow, even though we were kids, he was kind of a prick.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, I know this. There was, again, going with this one guy I knew, he, was, different guy than Thomas. He, it was an elementary school, and I was picked on a lot in elementary school because I was an easy target. I let things get to me really easily.
Yeah.
And that's the boss guy. You can tell his color's different. And he has little white bars that represent his armor, basically.
Like ours.
And I was picked on real easily in elementary school, and basically I did not know this, but at the time, but my parents basically what's her name again? Oh, there we go. But my parents basically confronted him one time, when he wasn't in class, and told him, you better stop picking on my son, because it was it got to the point where it was causing some trouble, basically.
Yeah.
And I heard that my mom had him against the wall.
Wow.
Saying, you better stop picking on my son. Kind of ordeal.
Hardcore.
Yeah. And so that happened.
Wait, isn't your mom a preacher?
She now is. And luckily, I actually just finished this quest because we're about 4.5 minutes in. Or 14.5 minutes in.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and pause.
Yes.
And we will pick this up next time.
Yes. All right. Later, everyone.
Later.